Approximately 5,400 students from this campus will be relocated downtown to a campus that will be built right here. But some students have mixed feelings about the change. 2017 Gallup poll says that a record 64% of Americans are in support of the legalization of recreational marijuana. And right here on UCF's campus, students are collecting these signed petitions. And if students do catch a common cold, they can come right here to the health center, just a few steps away from counseling and psychological services.
These are my UCF stickers, which I'm really proud of.
Dawn Livermore isn't a traditional UCF student. She lives in a tent in the woods of Apopka.
You do what you have to do. So although it might not be, the ideal situation for everybody, and it's not for everybody, I think that you learn as you go.
She's been living in the same space for 3 years and is not the only UCF student without a home.
Whenever I tell people I study homelessness among college students, their first response was, oh my gosh, I never thought about homeless college students.
Amy Donnelly is a sociology professor at UCF who is researching homeless students on campus. But Donnelly says it's difficult to determine how many students are actually homeless.
A lot of stigma associated with homelessness, and yes, mental illness is prevalent among homeless people, so is substance abuse. That does not mean that every homeless person is dealing with those issues, particularly among the college population.
Donnelly says many of these students are not reaching out for help, something that Livermore sees as a problem in the community. Livermore is doing whatever it takes to get a house of her own so that she can support her 5 kids, all adults now, but never too old for their mom.
If they need a place to go to, I want to be able to have a place for them to go to. I think that's important that you take care of your kids.
Once Livermore receives her degree, she hopes to one day be called professor. Reporting in Orlando, Christina Diaz, UCF Nightly News.
I kind of have a cool idea that just kind of popped in my head.
Kyle Welling is a UCF student who works at the Mental Health Association of Central Florida.
Everyone has baggage. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Everyone has it. And for me, when I finally decided to talk about it, just letting it out, it's just like a big gasp of air.
A breath of fresh air one of his coworkers felt after getting through her suicide attempt.
What really got me through was just having one thing every week to look forward to, and you just find that one thing.
Now, they are using their experiences to help others.
At the end of it all, I always said to myself when I was in this position that if I can help at least one kid, that I know I'm doing something right.
And that's exactly what he's done. He keeps a thank you note right on his desk from someone he's helped along the way.
Suicide doesn't need to be pushed in a corner anymore. It's affecting people. We see the statistics, it's affecting people. So it needs to be talked about.
In a new support group he's starting this month, UCF counselor Teresa Michelson-Chemalier hopes we can start talking about mental health.
And to decrease the stigma, to decrease the shame, to talk about it as openly and casually as catching a cold.
A dream Welling shares.
There might be a new obstacle that I've never encountered before. I know I'll get through it one way or another.
With support from the community. Reporting in Orlando, Christina Diaz, UCF Nightly News.
We want to be able to discuss this with our students.
Vincent Marcucci is making his voice heard as a member of Campus Peace Action.
I think it's important for students to be an active part of our system.
He is starting a conversation about gun violence, with the goal of making sure open carry laws do not get passed in Florida.
I can't imagine having such a life full of potential be cut off by something that we as a nation can't get our heads around.
9 other states already allow people over the age of 21 to carry concealed weapons on college campuses.
When the time comes that legislation does come through and we have the ability to make a difference, we have already discussed it. We are ready for it. We're prepared as students. We're prepared as citizens of the United States.
Members of CPA asked students to sign a nationwide petition on keepgunsoffmycampus.org.
Even one signature is a big deal. We're getting somewhere, we're doing something.
But some students didn't want to sign.
Well, I think that you should be able to, especially since this is a federally funded college.
Storm Berman says having guns on campus is a constitutional right.
The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Every adult should be able to possess a firearm.
Marcucci thinks discussions like these are important.
As the upcoming generation, we can handle it. We are the ones to hop on this and to make a difference and to shape the future that we're about to live.
He hopes to continue spreading his message on campus. Reporting in Orlando, Christina Diaz, UCF Nightly News. Over 766,000. That's how many signatures Florida will need for recreational marijuana to be voted on this year.
I think it's kind of unfair to say, hey, I don't smoke and therefore nobody else should ever smoke ever.
With enough signatures, voters will have the option to make this a constitutional amendment on November 6th.
Once you get it in the state constitution, it's much, much more difficult to change. So it's more permanent if you can get it in the state constitution.
But the permanence does have drawbacks.
One of the positives of representative democracy, of just going through the regular legislative process, is you get lots of people's input.
This petition is unlikely to get enough signatures before the February 1st deadline, but not due to lack of support. A 2017 Gallup poll says that a record 64% of Americans are in support of the legalization of recreational marijuana. And right here on UCF's campus, students are collecting these signed petitions. In the fall, members of the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws at UCF submitted more than 1,000 signed petitions.
We're hoping to do the exact same thing this semester in a push for the general election in 2020.
Stevenson says he knows the resolution is unlikely to pass this year, but is still raising awareness.
I don't think that anything is going to happen in the near future unless we make it happen.
He hopes to get people involved in politics in order to see change. Reporting in Orlando, Christina Diaz, UCF Nightly News.